I'm happy to be here and to go through this episode. I'm a little bit scared of how emotional it will be because I think the last days were not easy emotional. I thought, not like I overcome what's going on in Sudan, but I didn't know or spotted the triggers of things that could really alive the thoughts of the country and the violations that is going on in the women. And yeah, so I'm looking forward for your questions or for our conversation. And thank you for having me. I think if you asked me this question before Sudan's war, it would be a different thing than now. Because it's also like I knew myself better through the challenges that emotionally the war in Sudan put me in. The resilient side of me that when I thought that I was living under my family's care and when I went abroad and things suddenly changed out of literally one night. I think the resilient side and the passionate side, I didn't know that I love Sudan this much, to be honest. When I was leaving it, I was full of hope for things that is going to be better, as everyone is leaving a place that is not giving it as much as it should. So I don't know, I was in anger stage when I left Sudan because after the revolution, things went not really in our favor. And people, young age people in my age, they are dying. So you feel like if you didn't leave, you're going to die in any time soon because you cannot stay at home and you want to go to the protest, and protests are not safe anymore. You really pay your life for that. So I think fearless. After I went to Europe, I felt like, give me whatever. What harder could be more than that? And the third side, I think, or the one that could describe me is, I don't know, could be also something related to bravery that I really didn't discover it or give it more attention to that because I thought like I will make decisions when things are stable, but I did really strong decisions that Enass 2 years or 3 years ago wouldn't imagine that I will do. And now I trust myself better because I feel like nothing harsher could be more than you have to focus on doing something to your country, going through study. Apart from your family, I didn't see them after the war. I don't know how they look like after the war. And still have a passion to do things. I think this is something I'm really surprised for myself to discover. And yeah, I would go for things that are very strong. I refuse to see myself as a victim. Even with my European friends, when they are trying to show me empathy and all of that, I accept it, but I'm not. I don't need it. I'm strong. I'm going through things and things are happening that I don't think anyone would imagine how it looks like. So I accept solidarity, but I don't accept to be a pity case or something. So, yeah. I think the idea that I was a middle child that tried to make it seem like, put the attention, please, is something that it's well described me because also I remember like reading and writing a lot of poems and novels and stories. I also participated in some prizes that in the national level for writing stories and so on. So I remember that I was a child that very visionary for things that I played a lot with things that I can talk through it, like dolls and writing and imagining something that in my head. And I think this is why I started to see things that they are not even true, because I remember I'm not swimming because I saw a mermaid when I was a little girl. So I think I was seeing a lot of things that didn't exist in real life, but I was very good with like imagining them and playing with them. But yeah, I was troublemaker in a way that I hope like my dad still, I know that we love each other so much, but I challenge him maybe the most because I have three siblings above me, and they're obeying orders and they're going through things that structures of how the house supposed to look like. But suddenly he brought someone in the house that asking why does this exist? Okay, it exists because it exists. No, you have to come have a conversation with me. So I think I challenged how things or the structures started to look like, and it started from the house, and it's now bigger to the country, and now bigger to how the order of the whole globe look like. But yeah, I feel like always privileged living in Khartoum in a way that we always had visitors in the house. I remember the house was always full of people because there is no, for example, education services or hospitals in Darfur. So I remember like always my father saying, "Oh, there is a cousin that's going to stay with us because he's going for university, or a woman that is going to have a school, high school, something." So I remember there was someone staying and someone graduating. And I also remember that all of the rebel groups or the names of the government, it was repeated a lot during mealtime. But it's until recently that I knew that what exactly their location. So my house was in Khartoum, but the stories and how my family allocated things, it was still in Darfur. Especially my grandmother and grandfather were already there. So they come from time to time to also take medicine. So I was like, this is a long journey. Why people cannot just like have it there? And then you have a random information about someone, one of my cousins, she got bleeded when she died, for example, because FGM. So, wow, this is also something not touching me. So I started to grasp my privileges through the stories of the other people, because I go to school. My neighbors, they want to conduct FGM in their kids, but my father said no because he's educated. So, gladly my father is better than. So it was always that I felt I escaped some things that could change really the path of my life, but because of things that I didn't contribute to, I lived a better life. Because if the decision of my father that he don't want to be a shivered or like to work with his dad, and he want to complete his education and come back to flee to Khartoum, I would be again, maybe now, I don't know, maybe in a refugee camp, maybe in another country before now things are getting done. So I feel living in Khartoum, getting the education things, what saved me, I would say, and what really make me believe in things that could change the things of your life. Because some of the stuff that could be certain for you, and you didn't choose them because they just generational justice for that. And education has the power to change this into different paths. So I feel like very, very, very privileged for this. And in the last days, I heard something is that a woman said, for the woman that lives in comfort, they need to step into discomfort to challenge things in order to give women that live in discomfort an option to go into comfort zone again, which is something that really touched me, because I always, not that I challenge myself for harder things, but I feel that the comfort zone is not a place that I'm supposed to stay in, because there is people who live in discomfort need to also exchange the things, exchange the places, and taste how the justice of life is supposed to be. So my master degree, just to correct the information, is international cooperation, but the thesis title is the gender cost of war: women's evolving role in conflict and peace negotiations in Darfur. When I chose the master degree, I really looked through the subjects of the things that I want also to study: the colonization and post-colonialism, and also the modern globalization world. So most of the subjects were also related to what's going on in the modern life, but also linked to how the consequences of the things that are happening in the past are now affecting the global south. So my specific side in the global south was Africa. So I attended in the second year subject just related to the African region. Could be also law or economics, or also social studies. So it was very interesting because a lot of people could be in the class, but when the teacher is speaking about something about Africa, everyone is looking at me like, slavery, look at me, and I was like, guys, I also learning. I don't have all of this information, but it was interesting also to see how people also, when people from Colombia or Guatemala or Costa Rica or some friends also from Europe, when we speak about one subject, it's interesting how we all participate in a different ways, but also we agree in a sense of this is the true information of something. We are most of the time agreeing on how we're supposed to push forward, agreeing on the basic things. We were 3 Black Africans, but 2 of them, they are already based in Italy. They born there, but just first generation European. So it was very interesting also to have the talk, but also at the beginning to know that don't put too much pressure. I study about different subjects and different countries that, oh my God, I had no idea about that. Why in Sudan we learned how our education system works. Why we don't know about the Kingdom of Mali. Why we don't know about things that happen, for example, in South Africa. I never visited those countries that surrounded by me, but I always push to go further up. Why our vision is always up there and not what's going on inside of the continent. So I also felt the shame of not knowing that much. And after choosing the master thesis topic, it started from one day during the subject in one of the lectures. My teacher, my supervisor now, she asked, Enass, why do you think Darfur region has a very little attention in the media, although it's happening since 2003? And then I realized that I wanted to make something related to WPS, Women, Peace and Security. And I was reading in the literature review, and I got inspired also by how the transformative way of women in Rwanda after the genocide, and how also the WPS situation there. And it shocked me that in the literature review, things stopped after 2003 or 2005. And there is a gap in the literature review. I was like, there's a lot of things that happen in the middle, but it got the Western attention just at the beginning in the conflict, and then it lost it. And it lost it because of situation like government complications, environment complications. People couldn't make it there, so they evacuated, which are things that, of course, is not supposed to be easy, but the cover of the researcher and Sudanese researcher themselves, because it's a very complicated region, really, I don't know, gave me the inspiration of, oh my God, I need to do something. And then I got the chance to go to Uganda, to do a research field. And I was happy because at the beginning I was supposed to go to the Darfur region, but then the university refused. They were like, this is not a safe, you cannot go there. So then I contacted some peace advocate in Uganda. So I interviewed 10 of them. They are now based in Uganda because of the war. So I traveled there and I stayed 2 months, and it was inspiring because I felt like I'm doing this without being tired at all out of it. So I knew that this is my thing, I could go around, go to their house. It could be in the other side of the city. But when I'm in the border, I feel oh my God, I'm going to ask her this. I want to know about this. And when I'm coming back, oh my God, I need to search about. So I felt like I'm swimming in an ocean of experience of the people that participated a lot of peace agreements in the past that, yeah, I'm enjoying it so much. Sudanese women are strong, and women in therefore are strong. But it hits me so hard when I was doing the research, the idea that if not Darfurian women, Darfur wouldn't exist right now. Although there is a war right now in there. But the idea of the concept of how the community build that is being done there is something that during the interviews, they taught me the ethics of not crying or have emotion, but have a space of reflection and positionality and so on. But the amount of time that I hear the story of community building efforts and people are working in the ground and not just in caregiving or in domestic caring and so on, but also in bringing rebel groups together in informal way that never conveyed to the peace agreement is crazy. Like different groups that at night, for example, they had a fight of someone take their land or someone like this, and like different groups, different women, they told me that there's two groups that they were fighting, and there's this close for the village to be burned, but we went to the others and the other went to the other group, and we talked to them and we resolved this in a very, I wouldn't say the traditional way, but in their way that is understandable in their way, and it make it through. And one of the male activists, he told me, if not women, and therefore I wouldn't be able to participate in politics because there is someone that doing the care for me in the house, so I can have a chance to go outside in the street and participate on that. So also the invisible side of their force that because of the system, it's invisible, but it's supposed to be visible and shed light on. It moved me. It moved me how grassroots organizations are getting so little, very, very little recognition of what the international community is doing. I worked with NRC and Mercy Corps, and it's amazing work. I'm so grateful for that. But the thankful and the hard effort is through the grassroots organizations. The amount of money allocation, resources that is happening in that side shocked me how little or half or quarter of it in the grassroots organization is doing double. So yeah, it showed me that it's resources are important, but the mind of when you know the people, the community, the places that you're working in, you can allocate better because you know the needs better. I think if we're going to talk about healing, we're supposed to talk about accountability for sure, for justice, in a way of, like, sometimes when you make a small, like you are driving and there's like someone that's coming in your way, you have to scream to this person and show them that you were this close to hurt me and it hurts, you know? So you at least release the anger of that. Some people use violence as well to do that, to just like show you that you came to my space and I want to tell you that it's hurt. So for all the violation that we see, and not the numbers, but the experience of the women that they go through, the stories of rape and abduction, if we're going to start a new country, a new form of a society, and those people that got violated supposed to just go on without justice, we're not going to trust the system anymore. Because the people who are doing what they're doing now, they're doing it because they know there is no one going to hold them accountability. So I think to start from healing is to say thousand sorry for that, but also to make sure that next time is not going to happen. And also to the people that happened to them, the people the perpetrators who did this to you are now under questions or being asked of why they did this and being in whatever form of justice. Let's talk from this to this, whatever the law is supposed to be conducted. Then we can start the healing process of we are part of building this, and all of the violation that it's happened It's part of the system. It's part of the war side of things, which is unfortunately a high prices women are paying for that. Very high price. But I hope it will work for their favor and for the next generation of Sudan. We know how the system of women bodies is working in Sudan and how it is part of the resources that when you invade a village and you take the resources, the high money, the gold, the things, women honor and women bodies is part of this kind of resources. And also in order to tell the other group a message of, I came here and I left, I'm going to tell you that I raped your woman and I left. And this idea is not coming from a veil. Like, it happened a lot in different countries, but it's been used in Sudan in a way of also that intersection with race. Because one time, Omar al-Bashir, in one of his famous conference, we can also find it in YouTube, he said, for Darfurian women to be raped by an Arab person, it's an honor for her. So even the justification of ending the race of the African side that is being used in Darfur is just justified by a way that it's a race that's supposed to be, which is genocide, but it's formed inside of the mind of the man that now holding the guns. Is that even if you are not fulfilling the purpose of just making a chaotic or make any side of chaotic village or something, it's one of your responsibility is to take the resources but also rape the women that they are there. So for this to be talking out loud and to be going through a part of the strategic of also training those men when they are young with this idea, it's crazy. It's a very crazy moment, because during my working in the field research, I heard a lot of stories of women who are 60 being raped by men who are 15 or 16 years old, that they are kids. They are the age of their kids, but they are raised by this idea that you have to do that. It's part of your job duties, let's say. So yeah. I think, I don't know, like, the global order works with a business deal of things. I don't want to be in trouble, I'm in US, but the person that ruling this country working as a peacemaker because there is a deal out of the countries that they are trying to make peace out of it. For some countries to benefit from what's going on in Sudan, we don't produce guns, we don't produce bullets. To be a war that is going on for 2 years, being funded for this war to be 2 years active, it means there is a players outside contributing to this, and they don't want to be asked and they don't want to be stopped until their purpose is finished. So I don't think like the world is not talking about it because they cannot see it, but basically because there is no benefit of talking about it. If there is something that could be discussed about in a mere human rights thing, like this is not true, like just as a human I'm showing solidarity and so on, we're gonna find a small percentage of humanity or human population that really cares about this is just human being side. But as we live in a capitalized world that ruled and justifying deals and business and resources from different countries, it's hard to shed the light because it's not important, it's not relevant for that. And unfortunately, people of Sudan realize this for a long time, that no one will care about us unless we really care about our country. The price is high, but I hope this will teach us a lesson. I think at the beginning we had a guest from Liberia and Mama Lema, and when she talked about a war that was happening in the 90s and how she participated on building a new democratic Liberia and her role during that time, it just hit me in a very emotional side that we are living now in something that was happening for her in the 90s. And for the idea that just I felt the burden of the responsibility that we're supposed to be part of this historical moment in changing things. And when she mentioned the privilege that this generation now has, in a way of technology, in a way of knowledge, in a way of, we reach to places that we can really make remarkable decisions. I felt like, oh my God, I hope I'm not going to fail those women. And I hope that things are just going to work in their favor, because through the day, like the whole day that we've been through, we've been talking about a lot of violations. And my colleague Haneen was also mentioning how the ground is being worked. So it just hit me that, oh my God, there are not just numbers. This is stories of people like right now doing that. So I don't know if it happens to you as well, but sometimes you feel like, is what you are doing really gonna make like effective things, but not in the future, but right now, because now there's things that are being done. Like, we're not talking about in the past thing. Now, while I'm carrying my laptop, there's a woman that's carrying her child as a result of rape, and not to do a very prompt decisions and prompt actions, it makes me feel like I'm failing something. And I don't want just to talk. I know it's part of the process, but it just burdened me that, oh my God, I was talking a lot. I wish I could just do something right now, like urgent signing something for this gun to stop. So yeah, the emotional side of it was a trigger that I didn't know that never touched me. Like, I thought I scanned all the triggers. I can just keep them apart from me. But yeah, through time and time, things just show you that memories live very alive in your head. And yeah. Also, one of the things that while I was watching is that there is people who are not Sudanese interested in Sudan. So that touched me. And this is part of, we thought we are the forgetting wars, that no one cares and no one want to listen. And when I heard that there is people that they want to, I felt like, okay, this is the highlighting that we want, is that people don't know or underestimate their knowledge about things, because part of the international feminist movement that could participate in what's going on in Sudan, it could be to challenge the government that in their countries. Because when you know how things are interrelated, this knowledge is not, don't underestimate it, because you could be working in some of the offices that could really have a link with what's going on in Sudan. So by you knowing, you definitely participating in much ways. I would demand the idea of guns, to be honest, of the militarized thoughts of things that has really affected the Horn of Africa region and really affected Sudan for a long time. I know that we held the agency for our country, but Sudan, since the legacy of colonization until now, never ruled by themselves without intervention from external actors. So I would ask not to leave Sudan alone after the things that is being done, but also participate in the justice that is going on. If the ICC, the International Court, Criminal Court, if the things act, we want the justice right now, because we don't have a mechanism of justice that's being enforced in Sudan. So until Sudan can stand on their feet, as we say, we need the people that are responsible of making the orders of how justice is supposed to be conducted to help on that until we again gonna take the lead for that. Peace mean to me, it's interesting because I asked also in my interviews at the end how every person is envisioning peace. But I think peace could be to me is women can really exist without the threat of men that's surrounded by them. And I mean by that, their husbands, their fathers, their sons, their supermarket owners that outside, the idea of men in the street, the idea of men in the politics. If we can achieve, women can just exist and participate, I wouldn't say equally because I don't want to be very optimistic about that, but if they can just exist safely in this surrounding things, then they can participate in things. Peace tables doesn't involve a lot of women, not because women, they don't want to get there, but because it's not safe for women to exist there. It's a very intimidating environment. Already men and the elite and the militarized ideas have their agenda that women cannot participate in, and even their voices is sidelined. So the peace that I define is when women can exist safely in different levels. I'm Nala because I'm a Sudanese woman, and a Sudanese woman can do a lot and can change a lot. And yeah, I'm Nala because I'm a woman and a brave woman. And in order to participate in pushing the agenda forward into peaceful and ceasefire to Sudan, signed the petition of immediate ceasefire in Sudan.
Surface, Shakti, so